I believe we must do more to defend our country, our interests, and our values. So today I'm announcing the biggest strengthening of our national defence for a generation. We will increase defence spending to a new baseline of 2.5% of GDP by 2030. That starts today and rises steadily in each and every year. Over the next 6 years, we'll invest an additional £75 billion in our defence, and it will be fully funded with no increase in borrowing or debt. So this is not some vague aspiration for the future. We have a clear plan for what we'll spend, when we'll spend it, and how we pay for it. A plan that makes the United Kingdom by far the largest defence power in Europe and second largest in NATO. Today is a landmark moment in the defence of the United Kingdom. This is a generational investment in British security and British prosperity. It makes us safer at home and stronger abroad. Now, we will have 3 immediate priorities for this new investment. First, we will put the UK's own defence industry on a war footing. One of the central lessons of the war in Ukraine is that we need deeper stockpiles of munitions, and for industry to be able to replenish them more quickly. So today we're giving £10 billion in munitions support to give industry long-term funding certainty, backed by long-term contracts, so that they can produce more, be readier to surge capacity, and to move to always-on production when required. From surface-to-air missiles made in Bolton to anti-tank weapons in Belfast, we will replenish our stockpiles, all while supporting British jobs right across the Union. But it's not just about investing more, we must invest better. For too long, too much of our defence procurement has been over-complex, over-budget, and over time. So we are making radical reforms to our procurement model to make sure this new investment delivers value for money. And to encourage private sector investment into defence production, I can also announce today that we're going to put beyond doubt that defence investment does count towards environmental, social, and governance assessments. There is nothing more ethical than defending our way of life from those who threaten it. Now, all of this will put us at the forefront of the global defence industry, allow us to hugely ramp up defence production, and give our armed forces the capability they need to keep us safe. But, as in so many other areas of our lives, technology is changing the face of war. So our second immediate priority is innovation and new technology. We need to innovate and adapt faster than our adversaries in space and cyberspace, just as much as land, sea, and air. Look at Ukraine. Now, many aspects of the war would be familiar to a soldier from World War I or II, yet others would be unimaginably different, like the fact that cheap, high-tech autonomous drones could disable large parts of Russia's Black Sea fleet. Now, the good news is that innovation is already one of our greatest strengths. The UK's own Dragonfire laser directed energy weapon costs only £10 a shot, yet is accurate enough to hit a £1 coin from a kilometre away. And today we're going further. We'll increase our defence R&D at a minimum to 5% of the defence budget, invest far more in autonomous drones, and we will set up a new Defence Innovation Agency so that for the first time, decisions about defence innovation will be brought together in a single strategic agency that will be freed from red tape and work with the private sector on emerging new technologies. Now, third, we must support Ukraine for the long term. Since the Cold War ended, the freedom of our continent has been based on a simple idea, that it is for people to decide the fate of their countries, not foreign armies. But allow Putin to win in Ukraine, and that principle of sovereignty would be undermined. We would be dragged back to a world where brute force, rather than the democratic will of free peoples, would shape borders and decide futures. And Putin will not stop in Ukraine. Win there, and he, and indeed others, will be emboldened. He has the desire, if not yet the capacity, to attack other countries in Europe, potentially including NATO allies, who we would be bound to defend just as they are bound to defend us. The costs of failing to support Ukraine now will be far greater than the costs of repelling Putin, because only if he fails will he and other adversaries be deterred. And that is why the United Kingdom whose history of standing up to dictators is so much part of our national consciousness, has come together with our allies to stand with Ukraine from the very start. Today we go further. We will send Ukraine an additional £500 million, hitting £3 billion of support this year, and will provide them with the largest ever package of UK military equipment. This will include more than 400 vehicles, 4 million rounds of ammunition, 60 boats and offshore raiding craft, vital air defences, and long-range, precision-guided Storm Shadow missiles. And as we make our historic commitment to increase defence spending to 2.5% of GDP, we'll move past this stop-start, piecemeal way of backing Ukraine, so that alongside our long-term security guarantee, we are today providing a long-term funding guarantee of at least the current level of military support to Ukraine for every year it is needed. That is the longest commitment any nation has provided, and it shows that Ukraine is not alone, and Ukraine will never be alone.